Well, people wait their entire lives to collect Social Security benefits, spouse benefits, or don't wait. Unfortunately, something happens, a disability or surviving spouse benefit or something, but then they pick the wrong time to start their benefits. I'm going to talk about that today. And so we're going to talk about retirement, protective filing, spouse benefits, independently entitled divorce spouse benefits. A lot of people are missing information on that one. Benefits, disability, Medicare, Medicaid, when to do it, how to do it, tips, tricks, and secrets from the inside. What do I want to talk about the inside? Well, my name is Ed Weir. I ran the third business Social Security office in the country. In my semi-retirement, I'm helping you make sure you get everything you earn from Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, retirement, disability, survivor, all that other kind of good stuff. And this is also a live Q&A. So if you see this video as oh my gosh, it takes an hour to talk about this. No, I'll probably take about 15 minutes to talk about this. And then it looks like I've got lots and lots of questions because everybody has a specific question and a specific situation. And Social Security has exceptions, the exceptions, the exceptions. And so I'll talk about all of those and answer all your questions. If you're watching this on and a recording later, make sure you subscribe so you know where to find us when you do have a question. Okay, let's go down the list. Let's stop stalling and go down the list. Retirement benefits. Let's start at the top. Obviously, for retirement benefits, you're looking at 62 years old for the earliest. Then you're going to be reduced your full amount, obviously, if you start your benefits at 62. When you retire, people ask me all the time, when should I retire? When should I retire? And it really depends on your particular situation. Do you need the money? If you need the money, that's a slam dunk. Go ahead and get your money. You know, you start at 62, but you also have to take into consideration work. This year in 2035, you're limited to the amount of money you can make. It's $23,400. Anything over that, Social Security holds back $1 for every $2 you go over. The year you turn your full retirement age, it changes. And then once you hit your full retirement age, you can go back to making, I don't know, $1 billion a month, and it doesn't negatively affect your Social Security. So that's considerations of when you should start your retirement benefits. And then if you have what's called auxiliaries, if you have a spouse waiting for your benefits to start so they can start their benefits, if you have children under the age of 18 or children that became disabled before the age of 22, you need to take that in consideration. Because I had a lot of people say, well, I really don't want to wait till I really don't want to start my benefits at 62. I wanted to wait until my full retirement age at 67 so I get the full amount. And I'm like, wait a second, you've got 2 kids though, and your children will get essentially up to 50% of your full benefit amount. Sure, you're going to be reduced by 30% on yours, but you're going to get 2 more checks. Oh yeah, okay, all right, I'll pull the trigger now. And then it also depends on, whether you do 62, 67, 70 or whatever. It depends on your health, your genes, longevity in your family. Is the extra money going to put you on a higher tax bracket and defeat the whole purpose? Can you get the money from Social Security and invest it someplace else? Bitcoin, stick it under the mattress, whatever the case may be. And here's one I've added recently that I've always avoided, is politics. It's not about the current administration. Social Security cuts are going to be happening here in a few years. And because all politicians for the past 30, 40 years have been kicking the can down the road and not doing their job. And now there's no more road, and the cuts are going to happen if we don't do something. So there's that. So those are some of the questions you need to ask yourself in terms of retirement. So early retirement, again, reduced. Full retirement, you get the full benefit amount. So it depends on if you were born in 1960 and after, your full retirement age is 67 years old. Then there's called delayed retirement credits. So if you wait till after your full retirement age, then your benefits continue to increase all the way until the month you turn 70 years old. Do not start your benefits after 70 years old. Do not, because you're losing money. The month you turn 70 is when your Social Security stops maxing out based on, you delaying. And the delayed retirement credit is 8% every year you delay. So if your benefit amount is $1,000 at 67 and you wait until 70, your benefit amount is now going to be $1,240, extra 24%. So it's always a beautiful thing. So there's some of the considerations. Okay. And the next question people ask, okay, when? Okay, good. When? But what about when? So when in terms of age, 62, 67, 70, but when is, okay, I'm going to file at 62. When should I start the process? About 3 months before. Social Security really can't take an application 3 months before you want to start benefits. And side note, for the age 62, you have to be 62 the entire month. So if you were born July 15th, you can't start your benefits in July. You have to wait till August because you have to be 62 the entire month. That's only for the 62 thing. And as everything else, Social Security pays a month behind. So the July check comes in August, the August check comes in September, it goes like that. Okay. About 3 months before, and here's the issue right now. Social Security is at a 50-year low in terms of staffing. This is how politicians designed it because they want, they're setting Social Security up to fail. They don't want you to get your benefits because they want to give it over to their buddies on Wall Street. And this is left, right, Democrat, Republican. One group says they definitely want to do that. The other group are too incompetent to do anything about it. So that they're all basically anyway. So because of the 50-year low in staffing, you call Social Security and you're on the phone for 3 or 4 or 5 hours, and you just might be losing benefits. Well, a lot of people are losing benefits because they can't get the help they need from Social Security. So here's the trick. Here's the workaround. If you call this month and you want to start your benefits like next month or 2 months from now or something, then you call, and if you're able to get in, then you're protected for the month you call. So if you call in January and you don't get your actual appointment until April, that's fine. You're not going to lose your benefits. In April, when they take your claim, they will be able to give you retroactive benefits to the time you called, the first time you contacted them. So that'll be January. If for some reason, if for some reason you're not able to get in January, then all you have to do is take a picture of your phone or something like that. That you call the 800 number and you were on the on the line for 3 hours, and just take a little screenshot of that. And that way, the next month or 2 months later, you sorry about that. Then a month or 2 months later, you can show them and say, "Hey, I attempted to call you, but you weren't there," and they can take you back retroactively. So, protective filing. It's called protective filing. The same thing for disability, and this is important for documentation. Um, People say, "Well, I'll go ahead and call once I get my proofs. I don't know what proofs I need. Maybe I'll need my birth certificate. If you're filing for disability, you might need your medical records or something like that. You might need your divorce decree, or don't wait. Do not wait. Call Social Security. Be protected for that particular month, and then get your documentation. Don't wait to get your documentation. Call first, protect that particular month you want to start your benefits, and then get your documentation. Most of the time, you don't even need documentation, and the Social Security employee will tell you exactly what you need. All right. What about spouse benefits, divorce spouse benefits, and then we'll get into IEDS here. Spouse benefits, same type of thing, 62 years old, same type of situation about 2 or 3 months before. Remember, in order to file for spouse benefits, current spouse benefits or divorce spouse benefits, your spouse has to be receiving benefits. There's an exception. And you have to file for benefits on your own record. Okay. You have to file for benefits on your own record, whether it's a spouse or divorce spouse, and then you file for the spouse benefits. You have to start your own record first. There's an exception, and that exception, oh, Stacy, thank you so much. $9.99 for the contribution. I appreciate it. Maybe they'll buy me some lozenges next time, and so I don't choke on air. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for your support. So there's an exception. It's called independently entitled divorced spouse benefits. There are so many people out there. This channel has found so many people. That's why please subscribe and like and share and all that kind of good stuff. You just might, help somebody out there that needs help. There are people out there that were married, the requirement 10 years to someone, and they're sitting around waiting for their ex to file for benefits, and they don't have to. As long as their ex is at least 62 years old, and they themselves are 62 and they've been divorced. This is what, for independently entitled divorce spouse, the IEDS, this is one of the requirements, is that you had to be divorced for 2 years. Nothing else. You need to final divorce 2 years. This is the only thing. So too many people are out there are sitting around and says, well, yeah, I'm getting benefits on my own record. I could get another $400 or $500 from my ex, but he or she hasn't filed yet. So I can't get that money. No, that is 100% incorrect. You can file independently entitled divorce spouse as long as that person is 62. So reach out, share if you know anybody, in that situation, tell them to reach out to Social Security and be careful. Social Security frontline employees, unfortunately, the frontline employees, the CSRs, customer service representatives, are not CSs. I was a Title II CS, Title II of the Social Security Act when I worked before I became district manager, and we knew this, but the frontline personnel sometimes don't, depending on who you're talking to, and they might tell you, "Oh, your ex has to file for benefits first," and you say, "No, I respectfully disagree. Let me talk to a T2CS," and then yeah, you'll get set up. All right. What about surviving spouse benefits? Surviving spouse benefits, you can start at 60 years old. A lot of people miss this. Spouse benefits at 62. So you got a lot of surviving spouses out there, widows, widowers, whatever the case may be, that could collect benefits, and they think they have to wait till 62, and they're losing 2 years of benefits. So as I talked about the cuts, there are going to be cuts in the future. These are automatic cuts because the trust fund is running out because the baby boomers are using it. Hey, it's their savings; they're using it. Nothing wrong with that. The problem is there's different demographic issues. One of the issues is a lot of money's going to the top, the 1 or 10% who don't pay FICA taxes, so it's killing the rest of us. But in 2034, probably a little bit sooner, we're looking at about 21-22% cuts. If some of the things that happen get enacted, then we're looking at some cuts earlier. But those are cuts that are going to be happening pretty soon, and we need to address those immediately before those happen. Politicians are just trying to run out the clock because once the cuts are, intimate, and when they're about to happen, then that's when, we'll just surrender because we're in our, we're like, okay, whatever, just give it to Wall Street, give it to your buddies. And that's exactly what they're doing, is they're running out the clock and distracting us with, 200-year-old, 150-year-old people on, Social Security, which they're not. I've talked about this. I'm going to talk about it again. Make sure you join me the next day or so. I'm going to show you how Elon Musk is trying to dig up Jimmy Hoffa and find Amelia Earhart. So please join me on that one. It should be an interesting ride. Okay, so the surviving spouse, people are missing their benefits now because Social Security is not able to answer the phone. They don't have the staff. 50-year low in staffing. Your people are losing benefits, starting at the wrong time, filing for the wrong benefits. Surviving spouse benefits are one of those benefits where you can collect surviving spouse benefits and not file for benefits on your record. If you were talking about a living spouse, you have to file for benefits on your own record and then spouse. For surviving spouse, you can pick one of the two, and it's a good strategy. I talk about that in other videos. All right, disability, as I mentioned, file for disability at any time. If Social Security finds disability as the inability to work, that you have a disability that's going to last 12 months or longer or end in death, and that prevents you from working. And so you filed at any time. Please don't wait. I'm going to go see my doctor next month, and after I go see my doctor, yada yada yada, or no, file, because right now, because of the low staffing of Social Security, we're talking about a 6 to 9 month time frame to get a decision, the initial decision, if you're lucky. So file. Don't worry about documentation. Just start the process, and then once the process, update the records later. Medicare. That is not your full retirement age, 67 or 62 or whatever the case may be. I wish it was 62. Once you start your Social Security benefits, you should be able to start your Medicare. But, that and the cure for male pattern baldness is my two things I will focus on once I become dictator of America. But until then, Medicare starts at 65. Unless you're on disability, which it starts after being on disability for 24 months. After you get your first check from disability, 24 months after that, the 25th month, you get your benefits, your Medicare. So Medicare normally for people starts at 65 years old. Do not waste your money on Medicare if you don't need it. If you have health insurance from work, current work, yours or your spouse's, then you do not have to sign up for Medicare. You can, if you're receiving benefits, here's how it works. If you're currently receiving Social Security benefits about 100 days before your 65th birthday, then Medicare will send you your package in the mail, and it'll have your A and B and everything. So if you want it, keep it. If you have health insurance from work, yours or your spouse's, 20 or more employees, then you just refuse the Part B, and it'll tell you exactly how to refuse the Part B in there. Um, so then you have to find a Medicare plan as well. Once your Medicare Part A and Part B starts, you get a Medicare. I always recommend the Medicare supplement. And those you get through a private company. You do not sign up for those at Social Security. You sign up for Part A and Part B at Social Security. In terms of everything else, a Medicare supplement or the ones I recommend, a Medicare N or a Plan G, if your budget affords it. If you're able to get, if you're on disability, you probably can't even get a Medicare supplement, depending on what state you're living in. But if a Medicare supplement doesn't work for you, then you get a Medicare Advantage. Just takes a little bit more work, but it's better than having just A and B alone, because there's just too many financial gaps in original Part A and Part B. So if you need help, reach out to my partners there at Chapter, and they can find a plan for you. This is also the open enrollment period. If you have a Medicare Advantage and you found out doesn't cover your doctor or costs too much, or you just don't like it, you pick the wrong one, January, February, March is the time you can switch to another Medicare Advantage one time. If you have a Medicare Advantage, want to go back to original Medicare, you can do that January, February, March, but you might have to go through health underwriting depending on your particular state. So yeah, reach out to my partners there, and they can help you out with all of that. Their help is 100% free. And Medicaid is different. Medicaid is the program that seems to be under fire. That's the welfare-based program, low income, low resources, that is administered by the states. It's part, state funding, federal funding. But you sign up through that, not through Social Security, but through your state Medicaid office, Department of Social Services, Department of Welfare, whatever the case may be. And the good thing about this, please share this with everybody that is struggling out there. If you have Medicare and you also get Medicaid, then you're what's called dual eligible, and Medicaid your state just might pay for your Medicare premium, the Part B, the $185, and that'll put an extra $185 in your pocket, which is a beautiful thing. And then you're dual eligible, and you might be able to get one of those grocery cards you see advertised, kind of a scammy advertising, but they do exist. $100 a month for groceries or electricity or whatever to help transportation, dental, all that kind of stuff. But it depends if those are available in your area. So you have to check your specific area. And never get any of these plans just based on the bells and whistles, the shiny stuff. Always look at, does it cover your doctors? How much does it save you in terms of prescriptions? How much do this, that, and the other costs? CT scans, MRIs, a night in the hospital, and then you look at all that stuff, and then you look at all the shiny, transportation and gym membership and all the rest of it. So, all right. So I think we went down the list, and I'm sure I've got 400 different variations of questions based on any and all of that. So let's get into the questions right now. Let's see here. Let me jump to the top. Wow, we got tons of questions today. Let me just jump. A friend says there are more people on Social Security than there are Americans. Where can I find a number to refute him? I think he is looking at the wrong list. Yeah, he is looking at, I've talked about this a few times. Let me pull out my props. So in Social Security, this is what Elon Musk and his intrepid team of young investigators who did a Google search and found a report back in 2015. It's like, wow, geniuses. This is a Social Security card. There's a lot of Social Security cards. I have a Social Security card, but I don't have one of these from Social Security. This is the checkbook. This is not a check. This is a check for your young people out there. This is a check. See, this is what a check. This is what we used to use in the old days to pay bills and stuff like that. And it's, anyway. And we balance our checkbook once a month or never. Anyway. So yeah, there's tons of these out there. Everybody that's ever gotten a Social Security card since 1935 has a number, and it's sitting out there. Some of those, incorrect. Remember the old IBM Selectric in the 70s and the Underwood. That's how they used to type up Social Security numbers in a particular office. And sometimes somebody pushed a 7, and they should have pushed a 6. And now there's a Social Security number out there that's kind of in limbo, but Social Security can't legally close it out, so they just kind of put it in a kind of a old file there. And every few years, politicians come up, oh my gosh, there's so many Social Security numbers. Doesn't matter. It's not a check. It's not a check. I have a Social Security card. I don't have a check because I don't have a checkbook in my name. It's called an MBR, Master Beneficiary Record. This is called a NUMI, number identifier. This is a MBR. a checkbook. I don't have one because I'm not getting paid. Every child out there that's not, unless you're, disabled child or someone, anyway, every child out there has one of these, but they don't have one of these because they're not in pay status yet. So this is where the money is. Forget about this. If if you got a billion of these that are mistakes, okay, maybe you should clean it up. It's going to cost billions of dollars to clean it up, and for no savings whatsoever. So yeah, it's a story that politicians use every now and then to distract us, so they can run out the clock, so they can get closer to those dates right there. And then when it's 2033 or 2030, then they can say, oh my gosh, we've tried nothing and we're all out of ideas. So I guess we do have to raise the retirement age to 80, or I guess we do have to cut your benefits by 50%, or we can just give all your money to Wall Street and our buddy, the billionaires, and we get all the kickbacks. And that's exactly what the plan is. If you look at my YouTube description, you can see that's what the plan has been since the 1980s. So, but people that watch my channel are smarter than that, and they contact their politicians. So screenshot this, take a picture of it, and contact your politician. There's the switchboard there. There's the president. Get onto their website, their social media, and say, hey, fix it. Stop kicking the can down the road. One of the solutions that my viewers really like is the smash the cap. Smash the cap. Make FICA, make everybody pay FICA like the rest of us. And then ask your politicians, what are they doing to improve customer service? And what are they doing to stop the cuts in the future? And don't let them give you any BS about telework or anything like that in terms of, saving Social Security or, immigrants or anything like that, or efficiency. Yeah. Every agency could be more, every business, everybody can be more efficient. But, it's starting when the cuts start happening, the 20-21% we're talking about, it's going to be a close to $4 billion a day to add another day. So yeah, efficiency, might get a few $1 billion. We'll add a day or two onto Social Security, but yeah, we need bigger ideas, and we need to stop the distractions. So, but people love a sensational story. Okay, I already answered that one. Harry, I answered. Sorry, we'll get some new people here. I've answered Harry a few times. Let me find. Oh, Lisa, I'll throw this one up there because, click the like button. Thank you, appreciate it. Marilyn, I really appreciate your service and expertise. Thank you, I appreciate that. I'm about to collect Social Security for retirement. Is it better to do this by phone, online, or in the office? Great question. Yeah, I should have talked about that. Thank you, I appreciate that. See, people always looking out for me. You guys are awesome. Yeah, you can definitely do it online. If one of the things about online is it's kind of like, if all you have is a hammer, everything's a nail. And if 100%, then you're only entitled to retirement benefits and not surviving spouse benefits, and you're starting at the right time and all this kind of stuff. Then yeah, online is the way to go. You file online. And again, about same thing, 2 or 3 months before you want to start your benefits. And they say, well, what do I do about proofs? Well, what happens is when you file online, it goes to usually the local office, or it goes to one of the 9 regional offices, or they used to have an ICT, immediate claims taking unit. I think they closed that down because they didn't have any staff. But anyway, so it probably goes to your local office, and your local office reviews it. And if everything is good, they push the button, adjudicate it, and you start your check, and you don't have to talk to anybody. If there's any questions, they say, hey, you said this, and I just want to check on this. You said you have a spouse, and, or is he or she going to file and stuff. But yeah, online is definitely. And people told me, oh, customer service is awesome in Social Security. I filed online. I didn't have any issues. Great. You had an easy claim. But, the social part of Social Security is we're supposed to be looking out for our community. So if it was super, super easy for you, and it only took you, 10 or 15 minutes to do it, and it took everybody else an hour or 2 hours, and maybe they got the right benefits or maybe they didn't because they, didn't have all the information, those are the people we need to look out for. So contact your politicians and say, hey, it was good for me. I really liked it. The Social Security office was awesome. I didn't have to wait. They did an awesome job. But I know there's a lot of people out there struggling, so I'm calling for them. So they want to cut Medicaid. That seems to be the big one on the block, and it's, under the guise of, fraud, waste, and abuse. And as we saw with other, anything that it seems like they say, well, even though this particular program was passed by our elected representatives, the House of Representatives, it was passed by the Senate, it was signed in law by the president, whatever president, we don't like it, so we think it's fraud, waste, and abuse, so we're going to throw it out. So yeah, that seems to be unfortunately, but we're going to make sure that doesn't happen. Is there fraud, waste, and abuse? Of course there is. Come on. Can things be more efficient? Of course. But using those as excuses to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Yeah. William and Wilson, you can start your Social Security at any point you choose. You will not have to wait until your full retirement age. Penelope, hey Penelope, yep, always on cue there. You're awesome. Yeah, you can start anytime you want. 62, 65. Again, don't to wait till after you're 70. But yeah, and let's go ahead and go in this. Penelope might, if you're filing for your early retirement, there's also you the annual earnings limit, the 23,400. But if you make more than that when you start your benefits, let's say you start your benefits in July, and from January until June, you made $1 billion. I always exaggerate for effect. I apologize. You made $1 billion from January to June, but starting July, you're going to make less than $1,950 because that's the limit for the monthly. So before you start your Social Security benefits, Social Security doesn't care. Once you start your benefits, again, early retirement, the first year only, as long as you make under $1,950 for 2025 and stay under 1,950 for the rest of the year, you're good. And then the next year, you do have to stay under the annual earnings limit. So again, there's a lot of people that are losing money because they're, oh, I can't collect benefits this year because I already made too much. And so I guess I have to wait 8 months till next year. No, they're losing 8 months worth of benefits. So share and subscribe. And so we get this information out there. Okay, I'm a Fed and turning 62 this July, seriously considering retiring at 62 with 24 years of service. I needed one more year for high three. Yeah, no such animal as high three. In your, I guess, your OPM, yes. But not sure I can take it with everything going on. Yeah, so that sounds like an OPM question. For federal retirees, they do the high three and stuff like that. But Social Security doesn't do a high three. It has no relevance to Social Security. Social Security does your high 35 years of earnings, and it doesn't necessarily be consecutive or anything. So, do you believe that antiquated equipment and lack of personnel in Social Security office is a recipe for things falling through the cracks in the system? Absolutely. Yes. Lack of personnel, again, they're barely treading water. And a lot of the things they would like to do, they're just not able to do because they just don't have the staffing. And that's exactly, they've been set up to fail by politicians. And when they fail, politicians say, oh, guys, you guys are idiots. Yeah. And yes, the computer system COBOL Fortran based in the 1970s. That's one thing Elon Musk, if he wants to do, I'm all for improving efficiency. So if him and his boy geniuses, computer experts, want to get in there and redesign the Social Security computer system to be more efficient, 100% yes, and build a Social Security app as well. That way, people can go in there and do stuff on the app. So if they really want to fix it rather than attacking it so they can tear it down. So that's kind of where that's where it hits the road, right? I'll probably be $1,000 short of my net income, but it is what it is. Let's see here. Thank you, Dr. Weir. Told my sister about her ability to collect her divorced, deceased husband's Social Security benefits. She followed your advice and just got 6 months back pay and almost $400 per month. Awesome. There we go. That's what we're looking at. That's, again, as I always say, it's not me. I'm just some idiot sitting there, babbling on and sometimes choking for an hour. But it's all the people who take and took, and Penelope and Philip and everybody, all you that, as they say in Texas, the plural, all y'all, share and like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. And that's how it got out to you. And that's how it got to your sister, because you were awesome and you shared this information with your sister, and people share it with their community and the church and wherever the case may be. and that's how people get more money. So awesome. There we go. That makes me so happy. So happy. Yeah. So it's gonna be an awesome day. Um, my wife collects minimal. I get so excited. My wife collects minimal benefits. My benefits are affected by WEP and at present are equal to hers. Can she get spousal benefits when I get my increase? And minimal benefits. Yeah, if your PIA, your primary insurance amount, which has been affected by the windfall elimination provision, when they recalculate that, that's another thing Congress did. They wrote HR 82, and then they said, hey, Social Security, correct these 3 million records, and we're not going to give you any resources to do it. Just figure it out. HR 82 is only 2 sentences. It's crazy. So contact your politicians. But yeah, once they get around to you, then your benefit will increase. And if and if that also, increases your ability for your spouse will be increased as well. If your spouse hasn't already filed because of the WEP or the GPO or whatever the case may be, make sure you call the 800 number and schedule an appointment. And that way they know, that someone is out there looking for benefits on your increased benefit amount, your primary insurance amount. Can a 56-year-old widow use husband's point to file for SSDI? Okay. You guys are awesome. This is another program called Disabled Widows Benefits. Yes, it's called Disabled Widow Benefits from the age of 50 to 59 years old. There are some limitations, like a 7-year limitation, but yes, I would call Social Security, and if you're disabled, file for DWIB, Disabled Widows Benefits, and it's on the record of that particular person. It's not on your own disability. So definitely call on that and see if you're eligible. I'm currently on Social Security disability and turned 65 this year. I have an Aetna Silver Pack plan I'm not happy about. Can I change that? Yes. Good question, Laura. In most states, when you're receiving Medicare under the age of 65, health insurance companies being all right, I'm going to not say anyway, uh, but they don't want to give you Medicare supplement plans because that's going to cost them a lot of money. So they've convinced their, state politicians in particular states not to make them give you a Medicare supplement plan. And because that particular type of plan is state regulated, unlike Medicare Advantage, which is federally regulated, they don't have to. Some states, they do. But anyway, once you turn 65, it's a national law that it doesn't matter if you're on retirement benefits or survivor benefits or Social Security disability benefits, you can get a Medicare supplement plan and they can't deny you for any health issues. And they can't charge you extra. So yes, 100%. That is a good thing to do when you're on disability is once you are about to turn 65, again, reach out to my partners at chapter there and they can see if a Medicare supplement, a plan N or a plan G. Usually if you have disability and you go to the doctors quite a bit, probably a plan G is probably a little bit better for you. But it really depends on your particular situation. And if it doesn't work out for you because of a budget issue or whatever the case may be, then no harm, no foul. Then you just stick with your Medicare Advantage plan, or you find a better one that is good for you. Let's see here. I got a form from Social Security asking for more work information, dates February to February 25. Do I have to provide all this work information for SSDI? Yes. I filled out the longer form 2 months ago. Yeah, I'm not sure. When you do this online, when you file for disability, you file at the local office, online or over the phone or something like that, and you have to file the 3368 and the 30 and all this. Yeah. Anyway, but then once Social Security takes all that information, they send it to the state agency, DDS, Disability Determination Services. And for some reason, sometimes they send that form out again. I don't know why they do it twice, but yeah, you got to do it because if you don't, they can deny you. So Gus became a silver member. Thank you very much, Gus. So if you want to be a member and support, this is a 2-man operation, me and my son, and we work on this pretty much every day. And so yeah, if y'all can support, we would appreciate it. Just press join down there and Let's see. Can divorced disabled spouse without enough work credit to claim DIB as SSDI and ex-spouse? Yep, already talked about that. And at 67, claim Social Security retirement benefits on ex-spouse record. Yeah, I can't provide the Palms reference here, but can a divorced disabled spouse? So you can definitely see if you apply, you can get the disabled widows benefits. Possibly not, but in your case. But anyway, but at 67, yes. If you're receiving disabled widows benefits, then your benefit amount is a 71.5%. Um, and so I would contact Social Security. And in your particular situation, it sounds like you've got some things that you're trying to do. So start the process. Call up Social Security, file disabled widows benefits, and then at least you know. But remember, the disabled widow benefits 71.5%. Sounds like maybe you're close to the 60s or something. You might be out of that category. Um, so if you're out of that category, then you cannot get disabled widows benefits anymore, unfortunately. Trump, Social Security, what's happening there is going to be one of the great potential scandals in history. Yeah. Uh, I don't see it. I see a lot of, sound and fury, but, fake, information from 2015. But yeah, there's what's the old statement that they used to throw around quite a bit a few years ago, a nothing burger. Ed, I started benefits 8 months ago because Social Security was slow and started my wife's disability. She passed away 4 months ago. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Can I return my benefits to take widow's benefits and revert to my benefits at 70? Okay, you can withdraw a claim within 12 months. So you submit a withdrawal and say, hey, I want to withdraw my claim like it never happened. And because it never happened, you have to pay all that money back. Yes, you should be able to do it. Pay all that money back, and it's like it never happened. And then you can, do a mulligan and, do whatever over again. David became a member, silver member. Thank you. And Jack, donation support. Thank you. Hello. I believe millions of retirees depend on Social Security as their only income. Yes, 40% of retirees. Yeah, this is it. So I hate to think how they may react to reductions or eliminate a Social Security. Yeah, it's going to be tough. And then the whole thing about, ending Social Security taxes, taxes on Social Security. I agree. I don't think they should have ever been. Most people that are on here, that my regular supporters, think Social Security should have never taxed Social Security benefits, but they have, and because of it, what $50 billion comes in every year from those taxes, and if we get rid of them, then we have to. Yeah, what was it? For $49.8 billion from taxes. So 1.1 trillion comes in. This is 2023, 2024 numbers aren't out yet. But 1.1 trillion comes in through FICA predominantly, and then another 50 billion from taxes on Social Security benefits, and another $63 billion from interest, because we've let the government borrow this and they're paying us back. How are they paying us back? In 2023, they paid us back $70 billion. So the whole thing about, oh, it's all fake money. It's like, well, yeah, that trust fund is paying us back because 1.1 is coming in, but 1.2 is going out. And the difference is we're taking out the trust fund, and the trust fund that, in 2024, we probably took, again, the numbers aren't out yet, but probably about $100 billion out of the trust fund. This year, we might take $150 billion out of the trust fund. And then that savings is slowly being depleted. And that's why in 2031 or 2034, depends what we do over the next few years, then no more trust fund. So the only thing that can be paid out is what comes in. So what comes in will be about 75%. So that's all that can be paid out. So people are going to get cuts. And if you don't care, and if you're more interested in, sensational news about a 150-year-old person, then yeah, then I guess that's your agenda. And, but the rest of us want to have some serious discussions. So I have to be 62 in order to draw my exes too. We were married 10 years, been divorced for 14 years. I called and they said I had to be 62. That is correct. Yep. It sounds like he is still out there alive and kicking. So that is 100% correct. You have to be at least 62, and he has to be receiving benefits or at least 62. So Music, you won't sign up for Social Security. They will simply switch you over and probably at your fraud. Okay, Penelope. Oh, there, Penelope again. So yeah, what Penelope's probably talking about, if you're receiving disability benefits and you reach your full retirement age, Social Security automatically switches you from Social Security disability benefits to regular retirement benefits. It's an automatic switch, and most people don't even know it because your check and everything stays the same. So is my Social Security check in jeopardy considering all that is going on in Washington, drawing on my deceased spouse? I start mine at age 70. Um, as of right now, as of this moment, no. Again, in the next few years, when the cuts start happening, it doesn't look like, the Social Security law is written is that there is no grandfathering in. So it's like, well, I'm collecting benefits, so mine won't be cut in a few years. No, that's not how it works. Social Security can only pay out what it gets in or what it has in savings, the trust fund. Once that trust fund is gone, then they can only pay out what they get in, and so everybody's across the board is cut. Um, so we need to do something. I'm 75 and had a very positive phone appointment yesterday. Spousal benefits previously refused. Thank you for your advice. Hope it works. Awesome. Yeah. Here's what a lot of people miss is they call and ask, so they're receiving benefits on their own record, and they call Social Security or visit an office or whatever, and they say, "Hey, I want to see if I'm entitled to any benefits on this, my spouse or my ex." Usually, it's like an ex-spouse, and the Social Security employee says no, and then you figure you're not entitled, and then you walk away. But what the Social Security employee should have finished that sentence and said, "Okay, as of right now, you're not entitled. You did the 10-year marriage and all that kind of stuff, and you're 62, and that person's 62. Okay, all that kind of good stuff. But the reason you're not entitled today is because your benefit amount has to be less than that person's, less than half of that person's. So they look at the number and they say, okay, your your ex-spouse is 2,000 and your benefit amount is 1,100. So sorry, you're not entitled. And people go for the rest of their life and think they're never entitled to those benefits. But that all changes if your ex passes away. So if your ex passes away, it's no longer up to 50%, it's up to 100%. So that person was receiving $1,100 and their spouse passed away, they could be entitled to another $900. So for a total of $2,000. And you can't believe how many people are walking around out there that have hundreds of dollars, $1,000 plus every month waiting for them, but they just don't have that information. So subscribe and like and all that kind of. What is a reasonable wait for my award letter for my online retirement application? A week, a reasonable, but in today's world, it also depends when what your MOE or your month of entitlement when you decided to go ahead and start your benefit. So if you put you want to start your benefits in 2 months, then they're not going to rush around too much because they got plenty of time to do it. But once they push the button, the computer system automatically kicks out a decision letter, an award letter, and it tells you, hey, okay, starting in April, you're going to get X amount of money, and Medicare is going to be withheld or not withheld or whatever the case may be. So, but in any and all of this, pretty much it's unacceptable. Or as we used to say in the Marine Corps, unsatisfactory, how much people have to wait because Social Security employees are not there, and then they're losing more now. People jumping ship. So contact your politicians and tell them to support Social Security. So because all of this needs to happen sooner. Can a widow of a retired postman who paid into civil service for 19 years and only has 17 credits be able to collect benefits under the new Fairness Act? My age is 76. No. The Social Security Fairness Act only recalculates the benefit amount, without that windfall elimination. But if you're not insured, period, then unfortunately, you're just not insured at all. Don't have the 10 years, 40 years of coverage, unfortunately. POTUS to give $5,000 back to each household from Doge savings. Okay. Checks in the mail. What about filing for retroactive spouse benefits? Yes, yeah. If you called a month or 2 months or 3 months ago or something like that, yes, always try. And sometimes they will do what's called a deemed filing. If you file for benefits a year ago and at that time you should have filed for spouse benefits as well, they might make you go back to that time for retroactive benefits. So Musk says my great great grandma is still collecting benefits. Is this possible? No. Yeah. Well, it depends on how old you are. Kurt, are you like a couple of years old? And yeah, might very well be. But news today saying 3,500 Social Security employees are expected to be let go by the end of the week. Wow. Yeah, so it's gonna get if that is the case, I've heard rumblings of, some of my employees have reached out and, yeah, and they're completely disheartened, and then it's gonna get even worse, and more people are gonna lose benefits. Yeah. The husband has a pension, and does he have to sign up for Social Security? Nobody has to, we used to say in the Marine Corps, you don't have to do anything, but the repercussions are run 10 miles or brig or lose benefits or push-ups or whatever. Nobody has to do anything, but yeah, if you want to sign up for Social Security, yep, a pension doesn't have any relevance to Social Security at all, and particularly anymore after Social Security Fairness Act. Pensions have no relevance to Social Security at all. That's 1935. FDR said, Social Security is going to be the one leg of the three-legged stool. You got your Social Security, you got your pension, and you got your savings. Pensions are pretty much, going away. But yeah, so maybe they could use everyone 5,000 to pay off the debt he ran up in his first 4 years. Yeah. th- in terms of Social Security, which is it's my focus on this channel, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. Um, and pretty much all my regular viewers, we all blame every politician: Trump, Biden, Obama, the Clintons, Bush, Johnson, Speaker of the House, for the past 30 years, that either one political party wants to privatize Social Security and give it to Wall Street, and they're not shy about that, and the other political party is too incompetent to fix it. So they both, yeah, anyway. Okay, you're losing me with the dictator of America comment. I can really hear your politics coming through. I would be an enlightened dictator. Come on. And remember, my first order of business is the cure for mail order baldness. So come on, you got to give me a break here. Got to entertain myself here. What is the thinking about investing our Social Security into Wall Street? Do they think the available security dollars will increase past 2034? That's one of the strategies. There's a senator from Louisiana that said that's what he's going to do. I haven't seen it introduced in Congress yet, but that is his plan. And I did a video on this about a month ago, um, that talks about and shows a video of him specifically saying to a room full of finance people, hey, I'm going to take $1.5 trillion out of the Social Security fund and I'm going to give it to y'all, and you can invest it in Wall Street and real estate, and if y'all make some money, make sure you hook us up, type thing. And it's amazing, these same politicians, it's ironical. It's that is that a word? Um, that these same politicians who say, "Oh, the trust fund is just useless money. It's all fake money. It's been stolen. It's given to Ukraine or illegals or some other. It's all fake money," until they wanted to give it to Wall Street, and then all of a sudden, miraculously, it's real money. So come on, guys, make up your mind. What if you have marketplace insurance? Should you take Medicare at 65? Yes. You can legally keep Marketplace, Affordable Care Act, what do you want to call it? Um, but you're going to lose all your, advanced tax subsidies. You're going to lose your cost sharing and stuff. So, and if you don't sign up for Medicare at 65, you're going to get penalized, because the Affordable Care Act Marketplace is not credible coverage. So if you just keep that and you don't care about, the tax credits, and you just decide to keep that and not sign up for Medicare, when you sign up for Medicare a year later, you're going to be charged $10 for every 12 months you did not sign up for Medicare Part B. And you're going to also get penalized for the rest of your life on Part D, the prescription drug plan. Music, 5KK, $5. Thank you all for all what you do, and blessings. Thank you. I appreciate it. Plan A, B, and G Advantage seems reasonable. Plan N, A, B, and a D, good. So prescription drug plan. N, oh, yeah, you got too much there. You either get the Medicare supplement, an N or a G, or you get a Medicare Advantage. But if you do get a Medicare supplement, a Plan N or a Plan G, make sure you also get a prescription drug plan because those are not included. In most Medicare Advantage plans, they are included. The whole thing is just crazy complicated. So that's why I found a partner that would be able to help you out. I can help you out with all type of Social Security things and A and B, but the N and the G and the D and the Medicare Advantage, those are all area specific. So my son and I look for a team that could help you out with all that stuff and be awesome about it. And we found an awesome one in Chapter. So reach out to them. I saw a news article about Elon to cancel everyone's Social Security benefits by not updating or validating your current information. We're supposed to do every year. Is this true? Um, I haven't heard that. I heard he was in Europe, Davos, or he did it remotely, or whatever the case may be. And he said all of Social Security should be rebooted, like you reboot your computer, shut everything off, and then let the chips fall where they may. And if we need to restart this, your grandmother's Social Security check, then we'll restart it after a month or two or something like that. But wow, that is medieval. Is it wise to give nursing facility full authorization of your Social Security check? That happens quite often. Yeah, they essentially become the representative payee of the nursing facility. But check out the nursing facility, make sure it's reputable. Medicare.gov has on their website, they have not the best, but at least a start of nursing facilities and long-term care type places that it's a good place to start. It has a little bit of reviews and which ones not been completely blacklisted or something. So that's a good place. But yeah, ask around, do Google reviews and of whatever facility, and if it looks good, then yeah, that's a decision that you can make. Jimmy Hoffa is probably still here in Metro Detroit somewhere, but no longer anything but bones. They never did find him. They won't find anybody getting Social Security after death either. Yes, but that's the trick. Is they say there's a million 6.2. This is the story from 2015. There's 6.2 million people over 112 in the Social Security records. Again, Social Security card, not getting checks. But then in the next sentence, they say Social Security overpays people, hundreds of billions or whatever over however many years. And those are two different stories. People strategically choose to be overpaid. So what do you mean they choose to be overpaid? Well, if you're under your full retirement age and the limit is 23,400 and you're like, okay, but I'm gonna make a little bit over. I'll make $25,000. So I can call up Social Security, be on the phone for 3 hours and stop my benefits and hope they restart the benefits or I can just let it ride because I don't know exactly how much more I'm going to be over. I'll just let it ride, and then when I do my taxes next year, they'll send me a nasty gram telling me I owe them $500, and I'll cut the check for $500 or set up a payment plan, and that'll be it. So there's a lot of people that voluntarily, yeah. So, but they put those two stories together, and it sounds like it's one story. That's what another senator from Louisiana. Louisiana seems to have it out for Social Security. He did on the House floor about a month ago that became viral when he talked about the dead people, and then he transitioned to overpayments and stuff like that. And people put those two together, and they came up with purple ducks. Logic. I applied for disability. Not sure where I came up with purple ducks, but anyway, I applied for disability, got seen by a psychologist, got diagnosed with schizophrenia spectrum and other. Okay. Let's see here. I applied for Social Security. It's supposed to start in April, but I want to change my start date. Can I do that? Yes, absolutely. Call up Social Security. Hopefully, you can talk to the claim specialist that took your claim, and just tell them, yeah, you want to change it. And if they haven't already adjudicated, it should be an easy issue. If not, you can do it. It just might be a little bit more of a nightmare. Let's see here. Oh, Ralph, I lost my job of 24 years back in December. being I will lose my health benefits. Will I be punished for not getting a health plan in March? So basically, once you stop receiving health insurance from work, you technically have 8 months to sign up for Part B and to avoid the penalty. So you have 8 months. So you lost it in December. No, you're good. Um, Again, if you had health insurance from work, if you're way past your 65th birthday, then you just have to provide two forms. It's the 40B and the 564. And the 564 form you take down to your employer, and your employer says, yes, this person had health insurance since they turned 65 and their health insurance stopped this particular month. And as long as you start it within 8 months, then you're good. And then reach out to Chapter and they can help you with all the other fun stuff. Oh, and speaking of, thank you, Ed. Charter was great with Medicare. Awesome. That's what I like to hear. I'm keeping an eye on those guys and make sure they're treating you all right. But so far, perfect. Please discuss taking Social Security benefits retro 6-month lump sum and then repaying it or suspending. I don't want to do it, but I'm financially desperate with long overdue mortgage. Yeah, I think that's what I just talked about. You can actually do it within 12 months. You can change your mind and withdraw it and pay all that money back. Yep. For 6-month retroactive, you can request 6 months of retroactive benefits after your full retirement age. So if you're 68 years old, you can actually get 6 months of retroactive benefits. But if you're 62, you can't do that unless, of course, you called 6 months and you have that protective filing, right? Still having problems starting to get my benefits. 65 years old, retired, unemployed. Yeah, wow. Wonder what the Social Security office isn't responding. But everybody should do this, whether you've had a good experience or a bad experience with Social Security, particularly if you've had a bad experience. Contact your politicians. Those are the people that control your local Social Security office. So, what they say, all politics is local. So say, hey, Senator, hey, Congressperson, I don't care about the rest of the country. I care about the Social Security office right down the street from your office, by the way. If that senator or congressperson has to file for retirement benefits, they're going to go through the back door and they're not going to have any issues. But you have to go through the front door or no door. And so you contact them and say, hey, how come at your office right down the street, I have to wait for 3, 4, or 5 hours to get somebody on the phone and they give me the wrong information? How come it takes them this many months to do my disability claim or my retirement claim or whatever? What are you doing to fix it? And don't give me any telework BS, because I'm going to do a video a couple, 3 weeks after telework is ended for Social Security, once all the employees go back to the office. And I guarantee you 100% customer service ain't going to be improved. Guaranteed it. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. I've done several videos on why, because you can be monitored remotely just as well as you can be monitored in the next cubicle. So I would like to activate my Social Security and continue working. My income will be over the amount allowed. How soon will they start making the adjustments? So if you're under a full retirement age and you tell them you're going to be $10,000 over, then they were going to hold back $5,000 worth of benefits. So if your benefit amount, let's say it's $2,000, they're going to hold back the first 3 months. And you're like, wait a second. They can't hold back a partial. So they hold back 2. So, and you can do that anytime. Okay. Yeah. Already answered that one. Ed, thank you for all your videos. One question: could a pension affect survivor benefits? No. My husband had a pension and I'm applying for survivor benefits. Nope, not at all. It used to, if it was a non-covered pension from a government entity that did not pay into Social Security, but with the Social Security Fairness/Unfairness Act, which I call it. So people say, what do you mean unfairness? Well, my question to those 3% of government, local, state, teachers, firefighters, police officers, why should you get a higher percentage Social Security benefit than the other 97% of people that worked the same amount of lifetime earnings as you? Why do you get an extra percentage in your Social Security check that than us, the other 97% don't get? Explain that to me. How is that fair? That's not fair. But Biden signed it. It was bipartisan support. President Trump signed it or supported it. And it was just a political con job that we fell for. And it's going to cost us because it's going to reduce the trust fund sooner. So I blame them all. My brother turned 70 in 2026. Is it correct he can claim a few months earlier and get the full benefit? He's still working. No. Well, he can start his process a few months earlier, but remember, tell him that don't wait till the month after he turns 70. His benefits stop increasing based on those delayed retirement credits the month he turns 70 years old. So, question, my friend is 68 and started collecting at 62. Her husband is 67 and waiting to collect at 70. Can she collect on his benefit now, even though he is not collecting? No. Um, because they're married. Are they married? Yeah. So husband. Yeah. So they're married. So she has to file for benefits on her own record, even if she's not. Even if she's not insured, if she's not insured on her own record, she files and they say, okay, you're not insured, and then they take a spouse claim. But he has to be receiving benefits. There was an old thing back in 2016. Before 2016, there was a law that you could do that, and it's called file and suspend and stuff like that. But they ended that. So. All right. Unfortunately, we are at an hour and we are out of time. And as usual, I got tons of questions and apologize for not getting to the rest of them, but I will be back again tomorrow and I'll answer a whole bunch of more questions. Y'all have an awesome night. Take care of each other and contact your Congress people if you want all of this to be actually fixed and not distract us by crazy news. Yeah.